back to the Reality Bang. I'm RJ Johan, your host for this session, and thank you for tuning in. That's it. If you guys want to contribute to our topics, have any questions, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. Now let's jump right into it. Today's topic is about friendship, and we have Johan and Natania here with us today. It's a pleasure to have both of you on the show.
Good to
Thank you.
be
Thank you for having. Thank you for having. After a long time.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
So, for this edition of the Reality Bang, we'll be having a discussion regarding friendship and give you guys a better viewpoint of this topic. So, my very first question is so, how does a person know like they've made the right kind of friends? Because, I mean, especially nowadays, you hear a lot of, falling outs happening, like hard, it doesn't even last like 6, 7 months. So, how does a
Mhm.
person know like they've made the right kind of friends?
Hmm. I think the I think the right kind of friends also changes, right? Like according to like our age as well. Like I think when we were kids, the right kind our definition of right kind of friends were the people who who we could who had the same interest. We could
Yeah.
play with we could play some sort of sport with them, or there's some mutual interest that both of like I had like friends who were we were all interested in wrestling a lot as a kid, so we had like a bunch of kids. So we thought that was the right friends. And I think as you like when you reach high school, it's a little bit different. Like I think it changes. Like when you're in high school, your definition of the right friends is the people who think who just think say the positive side of you. You don't
Mhm.
want to probably you don't want to you don't want to have friends who will say the negative side of you. You
Mhm.
think the friends who really you meet, those are the kind of friends you meet, and you think those are the right friends because you actually think you're an interesting person, you're entertaining in front of them. And then I think I feel like college onwards it changes. I think. I mean, especially for since I think Yohann will understand because now like both of us are graduated and now you started working. Really,
Mhm.
it's different, right? When it comes to the right friendship, because all the people that I used to talk to in college, we are all so busy with our lives. I'm not in touch with like most of them. I'm in touch with like a handful of them, right? So I think. As of now, at this age, I think for me, the right definition of the right friends is people who are genuinely, interested, to like, you know, they don't even, I don't expect like, the friendship to have like, you texting me every day, but at least that should be a genuine, I should see that you are really someone who's genuinely, trying to invest into the friendship. Because at this
Exactly.
age, I think, yeah, I think, because I think at this age, everything with our work we get so busy, it's very difficult to even meet up our friends, right? So I
Mhm.
think so, and if you're just going to have like a work life and then home, work life and home, I think a little bit like it becomes very stressful. So I think at these times, like the more busier you get, the more tougher it will become for you to stay in touch with your friends. And the I don't think there's any necessity of like talking every day, but there should be like a genuine like understanding, like they're actually invested, that the friendship means to them, you at least that should be seen so that that can carry on, in the future days. So that's what I feel now at this age, the friendship, the right
Eh,
friends.
Exactly, that's very true. So, what about you, Netanya? What do you think?
I think I'll write off Johann's answer because he actually covered up most of the points. Because when you're kids, like he said, like you just want someone like-minded, someone who's there to sort of cheer you on, like yeah, you do it, I'll also do it. Like don't worry, both of us will land up in trouble together. I think that's what you look for when you're a kid. But then now it's sort of my definition of the right kind of friend would be someone who sticks by your side no matter what, be it good, be it bad. Especially in the bad. I feel like more than the good, it should be especially in the bad because in today's generation, you do see people who ditch you like that when things start getting rocky. And I feel like the right friend is someone who does not hesitate to call you out when you're wrong. And it's not like okay, you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna let it go, let it slide. And probably not. I think a right friend does not manipulate you or does not twist what you do around for their benefit.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, that's what I would say right friend is. Although I do differ in a viewpoint that, I don't know. For me, I think for girls, it's a different. You need to be in touch with a person like almost every day. Like we cannot have yeah, it's fine. We'll, meet after 6 months. But I do agree with the fact that work life does. Because now I have friends who are working, and it's like I need to make appointments with them, like book appointments well in advance. Dude, are you free? Like, can we meet up 6 weeks from now? It that concept has come, but at the same time, I think for girls we cannot survive without talking to someone, and I feel
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like yeah. So a ride and die basically. That's my sort of right friend, and picking that out, finding that one person or few people, like very compact group of people who are there with you no matter what. Like you can be fighting, but the moment you pick up the phone and you're like, dude, I'm in trouble, the fight's forgotten. Like, I don't care, I'm there by your side. I think, yeah, that's my definition of right kind of friend.
Hmm. No, I just want to add on one thing, like staying in touch, like no, that I no no no, that is important. Staying in touch. I didn't mean like not staying in touch, but I think what I meant was more like I think like you can't sit and text like as much as you
Yeah,
could text when you were
every
in school
single
and
day.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True, true.
yeah, like you can't text that much. So yeah, like that, that's what I feel like. It's a weird thing, like when especially now when people tell me like, bro, I'm so busy with work, I can't text, and it's such a weird thing when people tell me that because it takes few seconds, right, to reply to a
Yeah,
message. Yeah,
true.
it
There
it
was a
doesn't
meme
take.
going around, I think meme or reel that was going around Instagram, right? That, if they want to if they want to make time for you, they would. And,
Hmm,
just, they give excuses, right? My phone's out of charge, or, I'm going to eat and stuff like that. And then the next scene is like, the person sitting with a charged phone eating while texting a person. I think if they want to make the effort, I think, yeah, I mean, they would.
yeah, so that's what I meant, like making the effort is like what I
Mhm.
would do.
Sure.
What about
I
you, Johan?
So for me, I've had friends like which is right now about 14 years, going to be 15 in just another few months. So uh, when we started, like I don't know, we didn't really have that much of common interest. I mean, the only interest we had, is, these tops that used to be there like back in the day. They used to call them Beyblades.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
we used to be heavily into it. Like we used to go for like local tournaments here and there, and all of that stuff. So we just met because he was like actually my neighbor, and
Mm,
I don't know. We just had that common interest, and that friendship went for like 5 years. And then later on, we switched to football. Then we switched to martial arts. Then we switched to athletics. All various things. And I don't know, like to be honest, we never really liked one thing at a time. I mean, it used to be very rare. Like we used to have likes. We used to be like totally opposites. He used to be an extreme extrovert, and I used to be like, okay, here and there, like sometimes extroverted, sometimes introverted. And the crazy thing is, like, we had a ton of fights. We did. But anytime like I was in trouble or he was in trouble or I was going to a breakup, he was going to a breakup, you just used to give me like a call and you used to be like, yo, I'm having a bad moment in my life. Like, can you come? And even if we had the worst fights, like we, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, see, we are bros for life. Like you can't take that away from us. Like
mm,
walls can come, nukes can come, asteroids can come, hit the earth. I don't care. Like I give him a call, he's there, he gives me a call, I'm there. So I think that's what a real friendship is kind of about. So it's like, anytime, of course fights are going to be there. There's no friendship, relationship, anything without a fight. You're going to have fights.
mm,
But the main thing is like you guys, putting it all aside and not holding any grudges. Like if any one of us are in trouble, like they give a call and they're like, yo, I have this issue going on, I have that issue going on. And very recently also he moved to the UK for, I think he's going to be there for like about 3-4 years, and he's going to settle down there, but he is going to be coming back in about 2 years later. And the one thing he told like both of us, so we are a group of three, and he told both of us like, And recently there was a reel that was going on, like where I forgot the guy's name, but he used to say like, you don't need a whole army to conquer the world. You just need like three solid friends, and you have the entire world with you.
Mm.
Like the world can be against you, but if you have these guys with you, like, damn, you can conquer anything in life. And that's what I truly feel like with them. Like,
Mm.
I feel like anything is possible.
Mm.
So, moving on to the next question now, why is it so important to have the right kind of friends? Like we spoke about, like how does a person know they made the right kind of friends? Now, why is it important?
I think that's what I mentioned. Like I think as you get older in life, spending time with your friends will become very less, right? So I think as you mature also, like I think making the right kind of friends for I think is whatever career path you're taking, if even if they're not or not even career path, whatever decisions you're taking in life, even it may not be, they may not agree with it, but they're not putting you down. They're
Hmm.
there for you. They're there for you, backing you up. Because so sometimes there are so many people who wanna, let's say, I know so many people who wanted to get into freelancing, as designers, but they had a lot of like discouragement, like from family itself, because it's a very risky thing. Financially it'll be unstable, but they have their friends backing them up. So maybe they know it's not going to work out for them, it may work out for them. That's up to that will depend on their career. But the fact that they have friends who are still there, standing by their side. So I think whatever happens with you, good or bad, I think it's just if you have two people to hold you, and make you stand. I think that, and you don't have to ask them also, they'll genuinely just be there to help you out. I think that's what I feel like the right friends is, like when you need them and they, uh you don't need to like really ask. It just naturally, I think that friendship develops, and that strong bond, comes off. And that's what I feel. And also, like I think like when it comes to like being a friend, being that for someone, it it's really different for us, from person to person. Like some people, something very personal about them, like irrespective of how close they are, they still, they won't be free to talk about it to their friends. But
Hmm.
still I think that friend will also understand that. But the one thing that friend will expect is, probably spending time with them, and having a great time. That will make their their busy life much better. And these are these small things like this is what makes things better for them. So irrespective of what, instead of having a problem, they just understood you, you as a person. And and whatever decisions you're taking in your life, they're there to stand by your side. Like I think that's why you have the right friends. You don't even have to like tell them, they just naturally all this happens.
Exactly. So, what about you, Netanya? What's your point of view?
I think the importance of having right friends is basically one thing that we need to remember is no matter how much we claim that we make our own decisions, or we stand on our own, we do need to remember that the influence they have on our lives. So I would say the right friends, making sure that you have the right friends can affect your decision making or can affect the path that you take. And just I don't know, it has an impact on your mental health as well, right? Like, say
Mm,
if you in a group of friends where they're always putting you down, like Johan said, like probably not encouraging you the way that they're not just being there for you. And you
mm,
start self questioning your worth. You start self questioning whether what I'm doing is right or not. And I feel like the right friends, like he said, right, you don't need to have like a proper conversation for them to understand that something's wrong. And like my friends, they know, like that, like I don't even need to say anything. I walk into the classroom in college and they're like, okay, you're not in a good mood, what's up, what happened, or who hurt you? And I feel like having that sort of connection with a person is very important. Like it can play a very vital role in who you become. And
mm,
the person that you are, it affects the person that you are. Because you can come from this really conservative family, and if you fall into the group of wrong friends, and your entire future is changed because of that. Like, you fall into bad company, and then that's it. Like, it
Mhm.
takes a lot of hard work for you to come back on the right track. And I feel,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the importance of right friends for me. So yeah, what about you, Johan?
So both of you touched upon the very important aspects. So I really don't have much to talk about. I can just give you an example over here. So usually any time where I'm faced with a very tough decision in life, so for example, let's just say doing something great in the sense, like, taking part in sports competitions, getting into a relationship, different aspects. I don't look for any other people's perspective. I just asked these two guys, and I was like, yo, so what do you think about this? What do you think I should do about this? And I don't know, it's very odd. Like, they barely say anything, but with the words that are just spoken, like, it's hardly like a line or two max to begin with. Until it's a very serious situation, then of course they have more to say. But if you're talking about in these very aspects, it's hardly a line or two. And like, the understanding, there's like some next level understanding. Like, they say, like, okay, so these are the situations, these are the pros, these are the cons. So you tell me, do you want to go ahead with it personally? Before they ask the question, they'll be like, okay, personally. So that's where I get it. Okay, fine, you're going to say something whether I like it or not, but you're still going to say it. And that's the thing, that what do you say, that fluidity, that thing where you have no barriers between you guys, and you can just say whatever you feel like saying. So say if I don't look good on a particular day, or I'm having a little bit rough day, like, my friend, he's gonna come up to me and say, like, yo, you look pathetic. It, it may be harsh to other people, but then I'll understand. Okay, fine, I need to correct myself. Okay, let's see what I can do for today to make my attitude better, to make myself better throughout the day, to get back into normal shape. So that's the kind of
Mhm.
thing, like, you really need. Like, I'm not talking about people who compliment you all the time, who motivate you all the time. Uh, those things are like very very common. Like, if I just walk into a restaurant and I make a couple of just say highs to a couple of people, introduce myself, they're going to be motivating me throughout the day. I don't want that. I want people to tell me, like, hey, going down the wrong path, you're doing the wrong thing, this is not right for you, this is right for you. Those kind of people, because they are not afraid to put the friendship on the line for saying the right thing that is going to help you. And that's the kind of people you actually need in your life. And that's why it's so important nowadays, because especially nowadays in this generation, we know how people can actually be. Like, nowadays I've barely seen people, like, who have friendship going for like a year or maybe 3 years. And I'm not talking about our generation. I mean, of course, we have cross college and all of that. I'm talking about people who are entering into college, people who are entering into pre-university, pu, or 11th and 12th. Like, these guys, like, every single year, I feel like they have like some new friends and all of that. So my neighbor, she just graduated from 12th standard, and now she is doing her bachelor's in mcc. And she told me very recently, like, I just feel like I've lost connection with all my friends. And I was like, why is that specifically? And then she told me, like, nowadays people don't want to take interest into friendship, they don't want to put that effort into friendship. And I don't know, it's just kind of sad to think that nowadays generation, like, very rarely some of them will have the same level of friends that we had. But nowadays, like, they really struggle to make friends. That's what I personally feel like. Making friends is okay, but keeping them, like, being consistent with them and having people to be consistent with you, that is very very rare to be seen. Like, that's what I personally feel. What do you guys think?
I
See,
just
I feel.
realized that we sound very much like how our mums and dads talk to us. Like when Johan was like, now this generation is, they're not gonna have friendships like how we had it. First thought, like what my parents tell me, I'm like, okay, so that's how we sound to the younger generation. Is like, wow.
No, my thing is, I feel like, see, losing your friends like is completely normal. No, like I think like even like when you're like, suppose like you're from 10th, after 10th standard, I did my 11th and 12th in a completely different school. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, within few months, I wasn't in touch with like most of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
don't think I'm in touch with anyone I
Yeah,
think all
like yeah,
proper friendship started from 11th and 12th, but I don't think
yeah.
I'm in touch with anyone below that. Yeah, I don't think
That
so either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the 11th and 12th, I was in touch with in quite a few of them. College onwards, like all my friends from like the previous school where I studied in 10th, I'm not close, I'm not in touch with any of them. And
Mhm.
same thing happened with like my 11th and 12th. Like those friends, like there were very few of them, that I ended up still staying, close to in college. And now like my close bunch of friends are like my college friends. So I think I think see when you move from one place to another, like you
Yeah.
have so many people you meet on a daily basis, but you're not. Are you who are you in genuinely in touch with, and who are you friends with? Those are the friendships that will still continue. Those also, unfortunately might fade away, those friendships, unfortunately. But I think like see like all the friends that you had in 10th, you're not going to still remain in touch with them. That's completely normal because we get busy, with our lives.
Mhm.
So it's impossible to stay in touch with every single one of them. That's why like the number of friendship it gets condensed like towards like as you even after college.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently like there was a reel that's popping up. Like usually when you start school life, like you have like the whole class as your friend. Then when you go to high school, you have like half the class as your friend. When you enter your
Yeah.
college, you have like three, four, maybe five or something. And of course, like it goes back to the saying, like when your dream, gets more serious, like your friend circle also will get a little bit more smaller.
Mm.
But of course those are the people who you need, who are going to stay by you and going to advise you all the step of the way, give you criticism every part of the way, and of course
Mm.
motivate you at every single part of the way.
That's why
So
I envy like these friendships, who have been friends like ever since they were like 5, 6. And when I hear
He's been friends for like 14, 15 years. I'm like, wow, the dedication, the effort that,
That's
oh
what.
my gosh.
That's why I really envy such friendships, like who have
Oh,
been friends for that long. Like for me, it's been difficult because I moved like in different cities, so that is another problem for me. But still,
mhm.
I've been in Bangalore for like what 2010 is when I moved, 14 years. I'm not in touch with any of them that I met, when I was in fourth standard. I really envy such friendships that's lasted for that long.
But I hope it doesn't end at all because we have a lot of plans for the future. So let's move on to a little bit more lighter question now. What is the best memory you have of you and your friends?
I don't best memory. I don't think it's like a moment or an adventure or something. But I think it's just you have for me it's like you have like this some bunch of friends, who are like your I would say like your humor friends. Like you connect like from a humor, for a humorous way. I have I had those kind of friends in college, and it's like it's such a you don't even have to tell what you're laughing at. You are probably laughing at the same thing without even telling. You and I still remember some of the things like in final year, in the middle of the class, in the middle of nowhere, when teachers sitting and explaining seriously, it's like, me and my friend were laughing, and literally, the teacher has asked us, "What are you laughing?" Tell me, even I laugh at. Um,
Oh
and
gosh.
I've tried, and we have to explain to him, you won't find it funny. Yeah. Because it's like trust me, I've tried. It'll be very lame to someone else, but we find it funny. It's like that. So like literally once in class, it's like there was one dude who sneezed so loudly and our class was like in third floor. Yeah. And nobody found it funny except me and my friend, by the side. So it's like I think like these kind of things we don't I don't get to do that anymore. Like it's like when we meet with my friends, it's like again, like I'm not like we don't talk like every single day. So when we meet, we catch up, it's like updating with what's going on with our lives as well. So I think like we don't, but once in a while it happens. I think once in a while that if it goes back, we do have that kind of moments. So I think those stuffs, I still I miss. Just sitting and laughing, not worrying about anything else.
Man, that is really yeah, it's just all the little moments. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to anybody, but those are the moments we
yeah.
actually hold really close to us.
Yeah.
So what about you, Netanya? What do you think?
Okay. I can go on and on for this, but so I
Stick
have
to
this
one.
thing.
Stick to one.
At three, I'm going for three. I have three major friend groups. One is back in Hyderabad. They're my 11th and 12th girls. And with them, I think so. The problem with them was I was a COVID batch, so I did my entire 11th on the laptop, and 12th also half. The first half of 12th was also on the laptop, and then we actually met in real life only in the second half. But
Mm.
I mean, I missed the entire class because all of us, there were like only 12 girls and like six boys or something. So it was a very small class, and all of us just sort of, and of course, I'm not in touch with all of them now, but I am in touch with like two to three of them.
Mhm.
And I still remember I was supposed to shift to Bangalore at the end of the 12th, and I couldn't stay back for farewell as well because I had to shift here. And I still remember the last day when, they like, everyone, we all went out for like ice cream, pani puri, chaat, and, it was like so fun to have because 2 years I was packed inside the house, right? And it
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
genuinely like really fun. And we took like lots of pictures. They cut cake, smeared my face with cake, and I had to go home and explain to my mom. But because I mean, near school, we didn't have taps or anything. So it was hilarious. Like the memories that we build. And the thing is, it's sad because, they're in Hyderabad now, I'm in Bangalore. And like I said, we are girls. So we expect like, constant communication. And the sad part is because I have a different life now here. It's like I get to talk to them like once every 6 months. And they'll be like, dude, did you forget about us? But the memory that I have with them is something that I cherish forever because they gave me the first taste of friendship per se. Because
Mm.
I can say I was a lonely person before 11th and 12th. And then I think in Bangalore, I have two sets of friends. So one is my group of church friends, and one is the group of college friends. And I'm still creating a lot of memories with them. But
Mm.
college friends, I would say the foremost memory that I cherish a lot is the way that all of us can have the most unhinged conversations ever. Like a third party listening in would be offended, would be insulted, would be horrified, would be traumatized by the conversations we have. But then for us, it's like it's really fun to we can. Thing that I love about those girls is I we can be laughing about the silliest of things and then switch to the most serious conversations just like that. Like, we can be having fun, but then at the same time, like have meaningful conversations, like, sit down and actually talk it out. And I hate that this is going to be my last year with them and then I have to say bye to them. I genuinely hate thinking about it. But yeah, with them, and then we also go out on numerous occasions for food and everything. And it's generally like we share so many meaningful moments. Like, only one of us is in a relationship while the other three of us are single. So it's like, her love life is sort of uh you know our food palette sort of thing. It's fun. And then with my church friends, obviously, there's so many things. We have youth meetings, we have camps and everything. But I think the most recent was for the shooting of the short film that we had, because
Mhm.
Mm.
everyone agreed that that was such a core memory. Like, all of the youth were had come to my house, and between takes, we were just sitting and jamming, and jamming to songs. They just picked up the guitar and they were like, "Okay, chalo, let's sing," and everyone was harmonizing and everything. And then they were also like, say, I was shooting in the dining table with two other people. The rest was sitting in the hall and playing snakes and ladders. So it was like, yeah, core memories like this. I don't know, just make me really
Yeah.
happy. So yeah.
It's the very silly things that actually matter in friendship. Like people don't have to do something
Mm.
so grand, like go to Dubai or create memories. That it can be even, can be even on a ride, bro. It can be even on a ride or even a classroom,
Mm.
anything. Like those memories are what you'll hold most. Like not the fancy things, the very simple things you're gonna hold. So my final question is now, of course, friendship have evolved over the years. Like we have heard our parents talk, we have heard ourselves talk, we have heard the younger generation talk. So how has friendship evolved over the years at different stages?
I mean, I think we've spoken. I mean, at least I spoke about it. For
Mhm.
enough. How friendship has evolved over the years. But yeah, I think like it does change. I think as kids, we we want friends with whom we can have a fun time. Like like I don't think I can imagine a fourth standard kid having wanting a friend just for like serious discussion. So yeah, so they want so they want as as a kid, that's the kind of friendship you want. You want friends with whom you gel with very well. I think
Mhm.
as you grow, as you grow older, I think that I think I think as you mature, I think lot of things that you didn't take here, that you didn't think much of, that will start changing, right? And like I think you just want like friends who are sitting and telling good things about you. I think over from that, and I think I know like friendships like that, like where a friend has been honest to that person, during school, and the friendship itself has ended. And we have seen those kind of friendships, right? And cut to college, if I like you can be like a little more like I'm if I'm very honest to my friends, like they don't make a big deal out of it. They know they do. I mean sometimes maybe I go a little harsh, but but still they know me, and they know that they're fine with it. So I think I think how your friendship evolves. I think it's also like how you mature. As maturity is also plays a huge role. How you look at friendship. So like I think after you start working, like I think like as you get, you have more responsibilities in future. That the small net of friends, you will need, to cope up, and when you reach. That's what they say about like like or like this entrepreneur saying like entrepreneurship is like very lonely, he said. Like it's very lonely. So if you want to really like hustle and you want to get on top, you have to really push away a lot of things and sacrifice a lot of things in your life to get on top. But when you reach that and when they reach that top, and that also comes to sacrificing their social life, right? And it's they can't spend time with their friends much like earlier. And I think and I think they at that time they do, when you have sacrificed this much for your for your personal your life to get better, and then suddenly you don't have people by your side. I think it gets difficult. So I
Yeah.
think as you have more responsibilities, and you get busier in life, I think having a bunch of friends around you will really I don't know, I think it will keep you like more fresh. I think you will have like people by your side also, like if things are not going go good in your, you have people by your side who are at least like like-minded. That's what I think. Like as I'm a designer, I have other designers also, who are also like sitting and they're also in that same phase, and they sit and tell me the problems that they face in their work, and how sometimes it gets difficult for them. And I think those kind of like and you can't sit and talk to your parents about it, right? And because they won't understand these things. So I think you need so I think you need friends like that in your life, to just cope up with.
Yeah, exactly. So, what about you, Natania? What do you think?
For me, friendship, how has it evolved? Well, like I said, I was a pretty lonely kid before 11th, and it wasn't. It was more like I mean, I was lonely as in I didn't have like close friends, and all the friends that I had turned out to be backstabbers before 10. So it was like I would come, someone would talk to me, and then I would come home, tell my mom, and then my mom would be like, "Yeah, no, not the right person," and it would turn out she was right. So I think when I was a kid, it was more like I just want someone real. And then in 11th and 12th, I think it was like, okay, I found someone real, but then the distance played a part. So it was kind of figuring out, how to keep that realness, maintain the realness basically. And then now I think, like Johan said, maturity does play a very big part. Like, when we were kids, especially for me, I think I probably would have wanted to talk about the books that, I mean, I still want to talk about that, but then I would talk about, like, what happened in class, or I wouldn't talk about serious stuff like, say mental health, or relationships, or family. I wouldn't talk about that when I was a kid. um Probably when I was a kid, conversations would be like, oh, I have this, you have that. Probably that was what conversations would have been like. But then now I think my friendship, what I look for in a friendship is basically, like I said, realness, number one. And I think, while I do agree that there should be some likeness, like the other person should have a common interest with me, I think I find more pleasure in having a difference of opinion. Because I
Hmm.
think all of my friends, like two of my closest friends, both of them love anime, and they're really into anime. While I'm on the other hand, I don't watch anime, never touched anime, and even though they try converting me to anime, I'm not into it. And
Hmm.
but then the conversations that we have, like, she tells me the story and I learn something new from her. In the same way, what am I interested in that she's not? I'm into books. She's, I mean, she does read, but we don't share the same genre. So she listens to what I have to say, and I feel like that's important in a friendship, because if you have this like-minded people, I mean, like-minded in everything, it sort of becomes boring. Like, how they say, keep the spark alive in
Hmm.
any relationship for that matter. I feel like that's important. So for me, and right now, I'm just looking for long-lasting friendships, like people who will stick by me. So I think, yeah, that's how my friendship has evolved.
So, yeah, of course, you guys said everything that I was planning to say, but uh, like honestly, like the term friendship, it has different meanings at different stages of life. Like as Johan rightfully said, when you're young, when you just start off like in school, like you just want people who you can gel with, like with the uh, right kind of mentality, right kind of interests and all of that. Then as you grow older, like you start looking for something more, something that's more real, in other
Moment.
words. Yeah, more permanent, and something that can help push you even beyond. Like everyone has their certain limitations, but with the right kind of push, right kind of motivation, they can go far beyond that motivation and achieve great things. So I think that's what most people really want in life. So as you said about the entrepreneurship, it gets very lonely at the top, but if you have people like who are going to be with you all the way until you get to the top. So recently, Conor McGregor, he said this line. So he had a couple of friends back in his high school days. So he told, like, when I came to the top, I remember starting off with maybe about 10, 20 people, and now when I'm at the top, I like barely have like two people with me. And trust me, like throughout this hard struggle, like he said all of this, like throughout this hard struggle of my life, like life has been ups, life has been downs, but they have stuck with me every step of the way. And now since I'm at the top, they deserve the very best. And that's what I feel like. People who are going to be with you for life, and people who you're going to be with for life, it's either ride or die. Like like nowadays you really have to look for these kind of things, because people who motivate you as well as criticize you in the same friendship, it's very rare to find these people, honestly saying. And trust me, like I've been lucky to find some two three people like who are stuck with me like for 15 years, and the other one has stuck with me for about 12, 13 years. And I was very lucky to find these guys. And especially like when you're a kid, like you don't really talk about very serious topics. You're like just like, okay, so what's the show you guys watched last night? How was this particular cartoon or anime you guys watched? And they're gonna be like, yeah bro, it was so good, it was so it was so rad. And it's very important to have people like who get you out of your shell, because that is something like which is very hard to find. Like nowadays you find even 30 plus year olds like they're still stuck in the shell. And that's because of course they never made the effort to come out of the shell, nor did any of their friends make that effort to pull them out of the shell. So right now I feel like you need people to pull you out of the comfort zone and place you in some zone where you're not comfortable at all. I'm not talking about any other scenario, I'm just talking about the way you want to evolve. I'm not talking about all those kind of scenarios like clubbing, pubbing, and none of those. I'm just talking about normal sense, like which helps you develop more skills, helps you develop your attitude, everything else. Like you become a better person at the end of the day. That's what I personally feel.
Hmm.
With that, that brings us to the end of today's show. A huge thank you to Johan and Natania for joining the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So remember, guys, we air on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. That's it. If you guys want to contribute our topics, have any questions, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we are doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. And a huge thank you to our listeners for tuning in to this edition of the Reality Bang, your weekly dose of youth power, brought to you by FEBA Online. This is RJ Yohan. Hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Monday. God bless you.